we are going to start off. I am Jasmine. If any of you haven't met me before, I'm Jasmine. Perfect. Okay. And we're going to be talking today about emotions, these big things that we all have, that kids have and grown-ups have, and even lots of people say animals have. And so we're going to start off by taking a mindful body. It looks like you all are already doing it. We're finding a space that we want to stay in. We're sitting comfortably. We're making sure we're not pretty distracted by anything around us. And so we're going to start off by giving ourselves a hug. How many people give themselves a hug every day? I bet nobody, right? So we're going to start off with put your arms all the way out. Stretch your arms out to the sides. And then you can choose whichever arm you like. And just hug one arm over the other and wrap it around yourself. Squeeze yourself tight, 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 tight. You're your own best friend. And then we're gonna open our arms again, really wide. And then switch arms. Whichever arm you had on the top, now do the other one. And give yourself another big, 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 big hug. Oh, me and my best friend. Okay, so we're gonna be talking and doing a little bit of stuff and reading a story about emotions. So what are some emotions that you all feel sometimes? Does anybody want to say an emotion that they ever feel? Jana, is that your name?
I'm Sophie.
You're Sophie. Okay, we have two Sophias and a Sophie. Okay, go ahead, Sophie.
An emotion that I feel a lot is nervous.
He's nervous. Can you all please mute yourselves if you're not the ones talking?
Yes, this is my.
You got it. Okay. So sometimes you feel nervous, Sophie? Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes we all feel nervous, right? Okay. And with your hand raised in the striped shirts, is that Sloan?
Me. My name is Sloan. Sometimes I feel sad because my dad works in Houston.
Okay, absolutely. So dad works far away. That's a reason to feel sad sometimes. Definitely.
Yeah, and he was supposed to come this weekend, and we were supposed to have a special dinner with my brother, but yeah.
That sounds like a good plan. Does anybody else want to say any other emotions? Isaac, go ahead.
Excited.
Excited, absolutely. That's an emotion I personally love. Anybody else? So we feel all kinds of emotions, right? And some of them are emotions that we enjoy. Lots of us like feeling excited. Maybe before Sloan, like you're excited that you're going to get to see your dad, right? Or we're excited for something coming up. So that's one. And then there's emotions that don't really feel as great to us. So sometimes sadness doesn't feel as great. Sometimes nervousness. Sometimes right now people are worried, right? So there are all these kinds of emotions. And we've been talking a lot about the way that we can't totally choose the way we feel and think, but we can definitely have some influence on it, right? If we're thinking about it a lot, if we like calm down and think about it, then we can change some of the way that we respond to things. If we're nervous before a test, maybe we can talk to ourselves in our head and remind ourselves, I'm really smart. I do my best. I'm going to make this through it. I'm going to make it through this. And so we can calm ourselves down. And so I'm going to introduce you. I don't know who still likes stuffed animals. I do. But so I'm going to introduce you. It's pretty interesting. You want to say something, Sloan? What'd you say?
I love stuffed animals.
You love stuffed animals.
I have a whole bed full of them.
Excellent.
Too many. I can't give them away. I just can't. There are too many memories.
Fair enough. And so these stuffed animals, adorable as well, but also they're to teach us a little bit about our brain. So there are different parts of our brain, and there's a part of our brain that acts, it's supposed to help us when we're scared or when we're nervous. So it helps us out. Like if you were going to be walking by the ocean and you saw a hole that maybe you could fall in, your brain would warn you, like, be a little scared of that and walk around it. So it's intended to help us, But of course, sometimes we need to understand it or it can kind of run away with us. So the one who represents, you see him, he's pretty cute. So this guy is Bully the Bulldog, and he represents this part of our brain that, again, warns us about stuff. Yep, 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 yep. Don't go that way. Or also, they can do things like maybe your friend did something and you thought that they did something to upset you. They didn't even, but your brain can just start. Exactly. Your brain can just start running away with the story, and this will start barking. And then before you know it, your emotions are off and running, either staying more angry or getting more sad. And so even though he's very, very cute, and trust me, I love a bulldog, but he represents the part of us that we have to remember to calm down a little bit. And so then the other guy, also equally cute, you see him? So he's a little owl, and his name is Swoop. Swoop. And so this is the part of us that allows us to quiet down the bulldog. The bulldog starts barking and barking and barking, getting angry about something, and then getting a little more angry and a little more angry. We want to call in the wise owl, who's going to tell us just to chill out a little bit and take it down and not get ourselves so upset, because it doesn't feel good, right? Does anybody think it actually feels good to get mad? No, right? It doesn't feel good. And sometimes we even do stuff that afterwards we wish we didn't do. Like maybe we end up breaking a toy by mistake, or maybe we end up saying something to someone that afterwards we wish we didn't say. And so this guy's job is to keep us safe, but Swoop's job is also to calm us down and remind us to take a little breather, take a breath, and think about how we really want to feel, and try to choose feelings that will make us feel good. And so there's this spot. If you all want to take fingers, you can take 2 fingers, and right here between your eyebrows, it's this kind of little magic calm down spot. And this is lots of times where your wise owl kinds of lives. It's at the front of your brain. And so if you put your fingers there and you take breaths, it's a way to calm yourself down. And we're going to have that come up in the story that we're going to read in a little bit. But so let's start now by doing a couple calming breaths. So we're going to all together, we're going to breathe in, and it's a little different. Usually we're breathing through our mouth and nose all the time, but this is, we're being a little more intentional that when we breathe in, we're doing it through our nose, and when we breathe out, we're doing it through our mouth. So we're going to do it all together. We're going to breathe in through our nose and hold for a sec and breathe it out our mouth. And one more in, breathe in and hold and breathe out. And one more big one in, biggest of the day, breathe in and hold and breathe out. Okay, before the story, we're going to get ourselves moving a little bit with a couple of ways that we can feel. So we're going to stand up. And we're going to take on, in this little bit of yoga, we're going to take on some of the ways that we want to feel and some of the things that we want to be like, right? So the first thing we're going to do, this is called warrior pose. And so you're going to put your arms out to the sides, and you're going to stand. One foot is going to face the way your arm does, and the other, and you're going to think to yourself, I am strong. You can say it out loud if you want, or just think it in your head. I am strong. And then you can turn and face the other direction and say the same thing to yourself. I am strong. And then we're going to come back to center. And I think it was this group the other day that we talked about trees and how amazing trees are, that they provide shade for all of us. We're out having a picnic. They provide oxygen. They provide places for birds to live, so many things. So a tree is really a very, very kind thing. So we're going to stand with our hands, you can see me, our hands over our heads. And if you can do it, one of your feet up against your leg. You can go by your knee. It can go a little lower if it's hard to balance. But so we're going to hold it there for a second and think of ourselves like a strong tree and say, I am kind. I am kind. Okay, so this one, has anybody ever been skiing? I grew up in a place filled with snow, so I skied a lot when I was little. So if you've done it before, then you're going to be great at this. You're kind of leaning back a little bit, like the way you do on your ski things, and you're going to have your hands forward. And skiing, you're racing down a hill, right? You're literally hurtling down a mountain. So you're going to think to yourself, I am brave. I am brave. And then you're going to come back. And then I know some people in this group definitely have these. I love them myself. So dogs. And dogs, in most cases, are very friendly, right? And so we're all going to get down. See me from the side. You're going to be bending down the way a dog does, like this. When a dog stretches to greet you, maybe when you first come home, your dog stretches to greet you. Oh, your booty in the air and stretch, 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 stretch. And what you're thinking to yourself is, I am friendly. I am friendly like a dog. And so stretch, stretch, stretch out your whole body. And then we're going to come back down to sitting. And we're going to sit like this. And your butt is on the back of your heels kind of, and you're sitting like this. And so this is our calm. And here we're being the owl. And so we're going to think to ourselves, I am wise. I am calm and I am wise like Swoop the owl. We're just going to stay here for a second and get our bodies relaxed before the story. I am wise. And let's remember too, during the story, that this is the part in the front of your head. This is this calming down little space. If you want to, you can use 2 fingers on both hands and press them here. You could just use 1 finger from each hand, or you could use 2 fingers with 1 hand. But this little spot right between your eyebrows has this amazing little place to calm you down. And so, if you have the space to do so, it is great to lay down during these stories. If you want to sit down, sit up, you can, but if you have the space to lie down, I invite you to lie down. And so we're going to read a story that takes us on a little journey inside of our emotions. And so during this, we're all going to be quiet, okay? And the thing about, with your eyes open, of course, you see what's in front of you. But if you close your eyes, you're able to use your imagination, which can imagine anything under the sun, anything we could think of, anything anybody's ever invented, anything anybody's ever done. They just thought it up in their own imagination. Imagine before somebody first made an airplane. Literally, somebody was like, I think we can fly in the sky like birds. I think we can fly in the sky in big, huge machines that weigh enormous amounts and can fly people across oceans. And that's just something somebody came up with in their mind. So our imaginations are this magic playground where we can think of anything. So I'd love you to settle in. We're going to start off by taking, again, 3 deep breaths together. So let's breathe in and breathe out. And 1 more in and breathe out. And 1 last one in and breathe out. Okay. So it is 3 weeks. It is 3 weeks into the new homeschooling life. You're not going to school anymore. You'll go again, but right now, you're just used to being at home. So you wake up like usual, and you stretch, and you yawn, and you say some words of gratitude to start your new day. You can think in your head, thanks, bed. You were comfortable and warm all night. Thanks, sun. You rise every day and you make everything grow. Thanks, food I'm about to eat. I am so grateful for how you're about to fill me up. And then you hear the doorbell ring. That's odd, you think. You call for your parents, but no one answers. So you climb out of your bed and you make your way, still in your favorite pajamas, to the door. Slowly you open it. And there, sitting in a basket, is a wrapped gift, and it has your name on it. You look around, but no one is in sight. You bend and pick up the present and you take it back to your room. You sit on your bed and you turn it over in your hands. It is light and beautifully wrapped. You shake it, but there's no sound. And then slowly and carefully, you begin to unwrap it. Inside, in layers of purple and golden tissue paper, there is a very high-tech looking pair of goggles and a note. Dear you, and it has your name, whether it's Sophie or Kayla, Sasha, Isaac, whoever it is, it's got your name on it. Dear you, we know that there is a lot going on in the world today, and so we made this gift for you. Put these on, lie down, and hit the power button. And remember 2 things. Number 1, you can always choose a new ride. And number 2, to choose a new ride, just call swoop. In your mind, put 2 fingers between your eyebrows and press, and you'll find yourself in a new ride. So you lie back for a second, the goggles in your hands. What on earth? You decide to listen hard to your inner voice. You take 3 deep breaths so you can hear it better. So let's take 3 deep breaths, in and out, in and out, in and out. And then taking one last big inhale and exhale, you put the goggles on, the headphones in your ears, and you lie back on your pillow. It had my name on it, you think. I can trust it. Here we go. And you press play. You look around and it takes a second to get your bearings. The wind is moving faster and faster across your face, and the ground is growing smaller beneath you. Suddenly you get it. You're on a roller coaster. The car you're in is inching closer and closer to the top. You start to feel butterflies in your stomach. Your breathing gets faster and your heart beats more and more rapidly. You can't figure out whether these changes are nervous or excited. But before you can think about it too hard, you reach the top, pause for a second, and then whoosh, you're off and flying. The roller coaster plunges towards the ground below, and then just as it seems like you'll surely crash, it veers off to the left and rises high into the sky again. Up and down, through corkscrews and inverted loops, until you are gasping for air and tightly gripping the handrail. What had seemed so fun at first is starting to make you feel a little woozy, and you want a chance to catch your breath. Your brain feels jumbled as you remember the 2 instructions. You can always choose a new ride and call for swoop. So you quickly lean forward, still holding on, and you place 2 fingers in the magic spot and cry, swoop. And just like that, the scene changes, and your car is now traveling down a waterway through a dark passage. You duck as bats fly by your head. You look up just as a giant raven swoops, and its claws brush your hair. You don't like this place already. Your floating car rounds a bend and you feel it begin to move faster. You look ahead and through the dusk, you see a waterfall awaits you. This time you recognize your inner butterflies and every one of them feels scared. Again, you place your fingers on your own magic spot and you cry, swoop. Darkness envelops you and your car floats slowly again, lazily, and it becomes light around you. Along the shores, you see tiny fuzzy creatures, rather like Oompa Loompas. They are all chattering away and holding armfuls of red balls in their hands. One, who is slightly taller than the rest, yells louder than the others, and all at once, they all start throwing the red balls at you. Hey, cut it out, you cry, as one bounces off the top of your head. I said stop, you yell louder, as one grazes your arm and even stings a bit. You find yourself growing more and more angry. Your face turns red, and just as you reach to start pegging balls back at them, you remember. You press 2 fingers in the spot, and you call, swoop, take me somewhere I will like. And just like that, the whole scene changes, and you are now riding on a cloud. It floats softly between other clouds, with light breezes passing over your face. Your breathing moves from racing to slow and calm once again. The sun comes out and warms you to just the right temperature. You look up and wonder as you pass under the most beautiful double rainbow. You sigh in contentment. So happy to at last be on a ride that you love. Birds fly by and sing you their songs. You relax into the soft folds of the fluffy cloud. And just before you fall into a deep and peaceful sleep, you whisper one last thing. Thank you, Swoop. I love you. And you and the cloud float away, headed towards home, where after the sweetest dreams, you'll wake up in your cozy bed again. And so while we're all here, a little relaxed and thinking about swoop, we're just going to spend a little bit of time with just our own thoughts. So you're just going to keep breathing at your own natural pace. You can concentrate on your breath going in and out, and concentrate on your own wise owl, your own swoop that lives inside to calm you down. And so we're just all going to be in our own quiet spaces for just a little bit. Just a little bit longer. This is a nice break for your brain. During the night, our bodies get to rest, but our brains are dreaming or thinking. So it's nice just to give them a little bit of time, just quiet space. So just a few more seconds. Okay. You can all in your heads whisper swoop. And you can sit back up if you like. Does anyone want to talk about anything that they felt or they thought? What the story meant to them or anything they felt during it? Go ahead, Sloan.
I felt happier about hearing that story.
You felt happier about hearing the story? Okay, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Did you have a part of it that you liked better than, which ride did you like best?
I like the roller coaster one, the first one.
You did.
And the cloud one. And the cloud one.
Absolutely. Okay. Does anybody else want to say?
Me.
Go ahead. Isaac, you want to say something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I like the one with the cave and the bats.
You did. Absolutely. And I don't know who else, probably everybody's been to an amusement park. And so, yeah, it's not to say all of our emotions serve. Kayla, you want to say something?
The ride I liked was the one with the cloud, and it made me feel better.
Good. I like the one with the cloud too. And so all of our emotions serve a purpose. They're kind of like when somebody's on a ship, it's called navigating. So if you're in the middle of the ocean, it's called navigating, to be able to know which direction to go to get to where you want to go. And so our emotions are like our own navigation systems. They'll tell you, maybe, if you're near a fire, it tells you don't go near it because it's hot. So it's telling you the way to go. And so it's not saying that being upset or sad or things like that, it's fine to feel all emotions, but it's also really important to know that you all have, it's literally, the owl is a part of your brain. It really is a part of your brain. Not exactly this guy who looks so good, but there is a piece of your own brain that can calm things down and that can tell the bulldog, hey buddy, we don't need you right now. You could stop barking and go take a nap. I'm going to go onto the cloud and spend a little time with my wise owl. And so this is just about, the more we practice it, choosing our ride, choosing whether we want to, it's absolutely fine. I love roller coasters too, Isaac. Sometimes that's what you're in the mood for, right? A little excitement, a little up and down, absolutely. But then you want to just know that you yourself could choose, if you don't really feel like being on a roller coaster of emotions, then choosing to go on the cloud or anything else that feels good for you. So we're winding down. Does anybody want to share anything before we leave each other for the day? Go ahead. Jana? Go ahead.
I liked the part with the Oompa Loompas and the red balls.
Well, you know what is great about things like this is that we all like different things, right? It's like food. I always like to kind of be like food. Somebody else could walk by Brussels sprouts and be like, oh, it's my favorite thing ever. And somebody else will be like, Brussels sprouts, blah. So yeah, we all like different stuff. Bodhi, you want to say something?
Totally.
Go for it.
So I just want to say that thank you for this mindfulness class, and I think that everyone should be able to have some time being mindful.
I love it, Bodhi. I agree, right? It's a nice thing to be able to calm ourselves down. It's a very busy world we live in.